friends, this is Dr. Amarjit Kaur. I am professor of accounting and a certified management accountant from IMA USA. I carry 28 years of experience in the area of food processing and teaching. I carry 45 research papers in my credit and 8 books as well. So I love to interact with students, and in that process I am interacting with you. I would try to address what is comparative and common size financial analysis. So that's the agenda for the next few minutes. Let's learn that what is comparative financial statement analysis and what is common size financial statement analysis. If time would permit, we may talk about trend analysis. Okay. So with the agenda in mind, let's talk about the first thing. What is comparative financial statement analysis? So as the name suggests, comparative financial statement analysis. So we are going to compare financial statements of one particular year with the other. Comparative means comparing, right? So this title, this nomenclature in itself clarifies that what is going to be the part or content in this. So as the name is suggesting, comparative means it is also known as horizontal analysis, which shows changes between years, right? Of course, we are talking about the financial analysis, so we are referring to financial data. So this change, how do we express? So first of all, we take two values, two data sets of two different years, let's say 2017 and 2018. Any variable whichever is required based on the objective of the analysis, based on who is using this financial statement analysis, right? So first step is that we would take two variables, three variables, or any number, depends upon that what all I want to study. I want to see the liquidity, then I may choose variables accordingly. If I want to study or find out the profitability of a company, then accordingly I will select certain variables. So basis the variables, based on my objectives, I have selected. The next thing is that which is the time period in consideration. So I want to study about 2018 or 19 or 19 or 20, right? So I am going to take data sets of 1 year and going to compare that data set with the previous or the next year basis on my need. Okay, so comparative means comparing results of any business with respect to profits, with respect to your solvency, with respect to liquidity, etc. So comparative analysis means I am comparing results of on year basis. Okay, and for that purpose we have selected variables which are based on my need, and thereafter I have selected the year again based on my need and requirement. Okay, and then I compare the values. Values could be in terms of dollar, in terms of rupees, in terms of any currency, whichever the country I belong to or the financial statements belong to. Okay, so I compare the data of 1 year with the second year, and then I after that I calculate percentage as well. So that in the financial statement analysis, comparative analysis, so we ultimately we express the percentage change. So first we have dollar or rupee change, that is absolute currency change, and then we have percentage change. Okay, so if you look at the slide here, it is clearly showing you the rupee or dollar change is basically equal to the current year's figures. Out of that we subtract the base year figures, right? So base year is what? Base year is my previous year in this example, in this formula, right? So my previous year data set is subtracted from my current year, and the difference is expressed as absolute value in amount. This amount could be rupee or dollar. Okay. After that we calculate percentage. So this change is divided. So this dollar change or rupee change is divided with the base year figure, and then we multiply it with 100, and that gives me percentage result, right, for this comparative analysis. So we call this comparative analysis by another name, which is known as horizontal analysis. So horizontal or comparative is one and the same thing. I hope you are clear. So let's take some example. Let's say my sales in the previous year 2019 were 10,000 units. I am into the selling of car, right? This year in 2020 my total sales were 15,000. So I have sold 10,000 units in 2019 and 15,000 units in 2020. So what is the absolute change? Yeah. So absolute change, if you remember, I said the current year figures minus the previous year. Previous year becomes base year. So my previous year data was 10,000 units of car. My current year data is 15,000 units of car. So the difference is 5,000 units. It means my change in terms of values or in term of unit. So if it is 5,000, and then we divide it with the previous year. My previous year was 10,000. So the change 5,000 units divided by 10,000, that is base year figure, multiply by 100, that gives you percentage, and here in this example it will come out 50%. So I would say my sales are up by 50% from the previous year. Now this 10,000 units could have been 10,000 rupees, could have been $10,000, right? So I would then say that 10,000 rupee was the value of sales. This 10,000 rupees could be 10,000 crores, right? So 10,000 crore was my sales in the previous year. Now this year my sales are 15,000 crores. The difference is 5,000 crore. So I divide 5,000 crore, which is the change in absolute value. I divided the previous year, which was 10,000 crore, and multiply this with 100. So which gives me the answer that my sales have gone up 50%. Okay, so this is what is known as comparative analysis. So if you look at this example in front of you, Clover Corporation, right? So certain data sets are there. This is how we present the comparative analysis or horizontal analysis. So this is the best format of expression. So in this table, the first column tells about either the assets or liabilities if we are taking the balance sheet. If we are comparing, or if we have taken the data from income statement, then the first column will talk about the statement of profit and loss, right? So it could be any data set. So first column basically talks about the variable we are using for the analysis. And here in this example, in this slide, I am showing you the assets we are using. Okay. So assets are there. Then we have the year. So year 2008, which is my current year, and year 2009, which is my previous year. So 2 years are there. Then the fourth column talks about amount. So if you look at the top, it says increase or decrease. So increase or decrease in absolute word, in absolute value, so amount is written. And then the last column is about percentage change. Okay. So I will not take all the data set, but I will talk about how did we calculate for the first line, first row here. The first row, if you see, is basically talking about the assets, and within the assets it is talking about current assets, and within the current assets we are taking first item as cash. Okay. So the cash in the previous year was, how much was it? If you look at the data, 23,500, and this current year it is 12,000. So 23,800, sorry, and the previous year it was current year it is 12,000. So what is the absolute change? The absolute change is a negative. right? So it is not positive. Your cash balance has gone down from 23,000 plus something to 12,000. So almost half, right? So in the third column we have written the difference, and the difference is 11,500, which in the next column we have divided it with the previous year figure and then multiplied by 100. So it is showing you that the absolute change, which is a negative now, is 48%, 48.9%, right? Almost 49%. Okay. So that is how we calculate percentage change. That is how we express the results of horizontal analysis or comparative analysis. This is very important. This is the simplest thing anyone can do. We have many types of analysis, financial analysis, right? So I am just discussing the first tool, important tool, which is very simple, and anyone with a basic mathematic knowledge of plus, minus, dividing, etc. can carry. It's not a very difficult tool to use, but on the same hand, it's a very easy tool to use and also useful tool. This gives you idea, a very clear picture that why the change has happened, and you can actually carry analysis for as many years as you want. Okay. So the same thing can be repeated for rest of the items in the balance sheet or asset side of this company. So if you look at this slide now, so we have calculated with the same formula for all remaining heads of the asset section, be it accounts receivables or prepaid expenses or land or whatever, right? So if you go to all the items, all the rows one by one, until the last row, which is talking about the total assets, we have calculated these values. Third column, fourth column is talking about the absolute change. You simply subtract the value of 2007 from the year 2008. Here 2008 is my current year, right? And 2007 is my previous year. So from the current year we have subtracted the previous year figures, and the difference is known or taken as change, absolute change. This could be positive, this could be negative. Please note down that there are few data sets, few values which are expressed in bracket. What does it mean? The values in bracket means we are referring to a negative value, a negative change, right? This is a practice in accounting, that we express change which is a negative change in bracket. And the last column in this table, in this slide, is about the percentage change. So absolute change in percentage is expressed in the last column, and that's how we carry the horizontal analysis. So far we discussed about only the process part, right? We did not discuss how to draw inferences. Now if we move with the same example of Clover Corporation, we can carry the comparative analysis for the second half of the balance sheet, right? If you use these values and you carry it, so you subtract the previous year from the current year, you will get the amount, and in the last column you can express the percentage. So my purpose is not to teach you about or make you learn about the calculation part. It's a very simple mathematics, basic maths only. Important is to learn how to draw conclusions, right? So if you look at this horizontal analysis, where I have taken the data of income statement, of the same company, but now I am talking about the sales, cost of goods sold, gross margins, operating expenses, operating margins, and net income, etc. as this slide is there in front of you. So we have just followed the same process which I discussed for the asset side of the company, right? So I would not like to pay attention on the calculation part. Rather, I would like your attention on how to draw inferences, right? As we know that purpose of analysis is to draw inferences, to draw some conclusion, right? Whatever could be the purpose, whatever could be the objective, I should be able to achieve some percentage of my objective, if not 100%. So I should have some idea from this analysis. After that, I may extend my analysis. I may like to use some other tool, but how to draw inference, that is the point. Now, if you look at this data point of the slide, I am highlighting few things. So what happened in this company? The sales have increased by 8.3%. The first row where I have highlighted with yellow color, it is showing you that sales have gone up by 8.3%. Yet the net income for the company has decreased by 21.9%. That's very interesting, isn't it? This is a very interesting point, that our sales are going up. Our our sales people have worked very well. The sales force is performing well. After that, my profits have not gone up, rather they have gone down. So why has that happened? So this is what we need to find out. And now if you look at the operating expenses, so my operating expenses have gone up from the previous year, 2%. So 2.1% increase in my operating expenses has actually led to this negative increase in profits, even though my sales have gone up, right? So I would request you to please pay attention to this part, not the previous part where we do the calculation. Calculation is absolutely okay and easy step. Important is to be able to learn how to draw inferences, how to relate these variables with each other. So in this example, in this sales figures and of expenses figure, we were able to figure out that though company's sales force has done a good job, but operating expenses, and who are the people responsible for operating expenses? It could be general manager, it could be purchase manager, it could be production manager. So they all are causing my operating expenses. So I shall be able to raise my concern to the concerned person and bring out the fact that operating expenses have gone up, and that is why the efforts of sales force have been nullified. That is why my net profit has not gone up as should have gone up, as was expected because of the efforts of my sales force. So these are the important aspects of analysis where we draw inferences. So I hope this is clear to you. Now we will move to the second part, that is the common size analysis. So after addressing the first part, the comparative analysis, where we learned how to compare results of one year to the other year. So now I am talking about the common size analysis. So what is common size analysis? So as the name suggests, common. So something is common in this analysis. So what is common? So in the common size analysis, we have two things common, in fact not one. We have total value of sales common for the statement of profit and loss, and total value of assets taken as common for all balance sheet items. I will repeat, for statement of profit and loss, we take the total value of sales as common point, right? And for the purpose of balance sheet item, if we want to study, then we take the total value of total assets as common point to compare. Okay, so that's how we go. So common size statement, it uses percentage to express the relationship of individual components, individual variables to the total with a single period, right? This is also known as vertical analysis. So the second name, a very commonly used name, is vertical analysis. As we know, vertical means the y-axis, right? So in that y-axis, we have all the variables, all the information pertaining to 1 year only. Okay, and in the in the vertical analysis, we may compare the values of income statement with other variables of the income statement, and in the balance sheet we may compare the variables of balance sheet asset side or liability side with the total assets, right. So, that is how the common size analysis goes. Now, in the as I said, we take total sales as common size. So, let's take some example to understand. If you look at this example, again I have taken the Clover Corporation Company, and I have taken the same data set 2007 and 2008 consciously. So, if you look at the net sales, right, so net sales are there. So, the first line which has been highlighted, it clearly tells you that net sales are 100%. If you refer to the fourth column, right, so net sale is the base, and the rest of the item in the income statement for this company are expressed to sales only. So, in this tool we are relating the items of the income statement with the total sales of which is also taken from the income statement. It means all the variables come from only one financial statement, and here it is income statement. Alright. So, my basis of comparison is the net sales. So, net sales becomes the common base. The common word is used for net sales. Okay. And rest of the items, be it operating expenses of cost of goods sold or whatever, you can take and you just relate it to the rest of the item. For example, in 2000 cost and 2008 sales. So, in 2008, what is the value of my cost? That is given. What is the value of my sales? That is given. So, what I am doing is I am dividing the cost value, the cost of goods sold, right, with the my total sales and 520,000, and multiplying it by 100, and it is giving me that the percentage change is, or the percentage cost of goods sold to my total sales is 69.2%. Okay. Same way we can express it for the rest of the items, right. So, if you look at this particular slide, we have repeated the same step. Selecting the cost of goods sold, dividing it by total sales. Gross margins, take the value, divide it with the total sales. Next item, take the operating expenses and divide it with the total sales, and so on. So, if you repeat the sentence, if you repeat this step up to the last row, which is net income, you will get the percentage change, and we can do it for 2 years. If in this example we are taking we have taken the data for 2 years. So, we are doing it for 2007 as well as 2008, but important is they are two independent data sets. So, we are comparing the sales of 2008 with the rest of the points, or with the rest of the data set of 2008, and for 2007 we have taken the common base of net sales and have compared the rest of the variables of the income statement, and the last thing is to draw the inference, right. So, important is that how do we draw the inference. So, we can draw the inferencing by relating that my operating expenses are this much percentage to my sales, that my gross margin is this much percentage to my sales, and that is how we draw inferences, right. So, I hope you are able to understand that how does we draw inferences from the common size analysis, because calculation part is not difficult at all. It is just relating one variable of one financial statement with the common base and calculating a percentage. Important is to express the inference, express the conclusion. So, I hope you are able to learn that. Thank you very much for being with me. Thank you.